All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to do our Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update. This is going to be a weekend edition. I want to go through the month of January, talk about what happened in the month of January and where we might be able to go from here. But I also have to talk about what's happening today because Bitcoin is on the move again. So if you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button. Lastly, you can become a member of the channel by hitting the join button on the YouTube page. It's right next to the subscribe button. If you don't see a join button, there should be a link in the description. Members get a lot of members-only content. In addition to that, we do a once-a-week members-only live stream every Tuesday after the market closes. On that live stream, the members get to pick a company for me to do a deep dive video on. So we have a lot of fun on that. We hope to see you there. Let's talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. I have a lot of info, but I have to start with what's going on today. So if we look at Bitcoin on the 15-minute chart, as always, there's an orange line here. This is where Bitcoin was when the equity markets closed on Friday in the US. So obviously that was a couple of days ago now. So you'll see we have spent most of this time above that line, and Bitcoin has actually had a little bit of a breakout, and it's crossed a fairly significant line of resistance. When we go out to the larger time frames, you're going to see that, but really, we spent a few hours this morning getting to a new level that we have not been in. We hit a 5-month high this morning. We are pulling back a little bit right now, so it's important to understand that there's a long time between right now and the time the market opens tomorrow morning, so Bitcoin does have a tendency to pull back a little sometimes just before or at the open of the U.S. equity markets on a Monday morning. So we'll see if that holds true, and if so, I'm going to tell you where I think it needs to hold on to in order to continue this bull run, because I do not think that this relief rally is over, so we'll go through my price target as well. Okay, when you look at the 4-hour time frame, this becomes more obvious. There's a green line right here. This green line goes all the way back to August of 2022. This is really the last 7 days. This goes back, it's actually the last 8 days. This goes back to last Saturday. So we've been bumping into this line for now 8 days now. We've broken through this line. So that is what I'm going to be looking for. By the time the equity markets open tomorrow, can Bitcoin stay above this green line? Even if we have a pullback, can we create some support somewhere around 23,300? So we don't necessarily have to go back and test that line. I just feel like there's a decent chance that that's going to happen. We just had a big run up. But if we do continue to have a pullback, that is going to be the important line that I am looking at. If we can't hold that line, then I think we potentially could pull back down to this purple line. My feeling is if we can stay above this purple line at about 22,400, then we can hit this ultimate price target for this relief rally that I have of around 25,200. So we're nicely in the middle of that right now. The 22,400 was my initial price target. I had 2 price targets for this relief rally. We've already passed one, and now hopefully we'll get to the second one. It's too soon to call a bull rally. So we are clearly rallying. I have a target point, and then we're going to see where we go from there. But I do think volatility is the word of the year for 2023. I'm going to keep saying that because I do think we're going to have a lot of volatility in the future. But as we reach these newer highs, it's obviously very encouraging. So I don't think we go up in a straight line. That's never how it works. But at the moment, we're at about a 5-month high, and we're trying to get back to that line. The purple line at 25,200 is where the relief rally ended on August 15th of 2022. So that's my price target. Can we get back to where we were in the middle of last August? So we're almost there, but let's see if we can keep it going. Now I want to talk about January. I want to talk about what's happened so far this year with Bitcoin, what's happened this year with the Bitcoin miners, and where I think we can go from here on the Bitcoin miners, because I believe there is a lot of room left to run on the miners. I know many of you might feel like we just had a gigantic run up and you've missed the run up, but I think if you look at the data that I'm going to show you, I think there's still potentially an awful lot of run up left ahead of us. Okay, so first let's take a look at it this way. This is all the Bitcoin miners that I track. This is their performance in the month of January. So this is from January 1st to January 27th. Essentially, it's been 4 weeks. And you're going to see this chart is just astounding. The worst performer on this entire chart is Stronghold, and it's up 27% in the month of January. So obviously, for a normal stock, that would be a big move in 1 month. But the majority of these Bitcoin miners are actually up over 100%, and some of them are up over 200%. And then we have DigiHost, which has absolutely skyrocketed. DigiHost is up 486% on the month in the month of January 2023. That's just this month. DigiHost in particular, it got down to a $10 million market cap company. So when you are that small, that is a small nano cap stock, you can have these types of explosive moves, which is why I think you're going to see there's a lot more room to the upside. Yes, definitely. We just had a nice run, and it may not yet be over, but we really haven't even gotten back to where we started, and that's what I want to show you next. If I move to this chart, you're going to see an awful lot of red. So this is why I think there's opportunity left. So what this chart is this measures from where these Bitcoin miners were trading in August of 2022. And the reason I picked that was Bitcoin was at $25,000, roughly $25,000 in the middle of August of 2022. Well, we're just under $24,000 right now. So we are getting very close to getting back to where we were last August. But you will see a sea of red on this page. Most of the Bitcoin miners are nowhere near back to where the price was in last August of 2022. So you can see if we can hit 25,000, which is my price target for this relief rally, if that can happen in the next few weeks or month, theoretically, the Bitcoin miners that have had a good 5 or 6 months since then and have had good operational reports, have strong financial statements, you would think that they would be higher at this point than they were back then because they've had a lot of growth in many instances. Now, you also have to be very careful. Some of these companies have had fundamental changes to the negative. Some of these companies are never going to get back to where they were, or it may take years for them to get back to where they were. But other of these companies have added exahash, they've added to their hodl position, and they've strengthened their balance sheet, and they're in a better place than they were in August. So you'll see, other than DigiHost, which had that crazy run so far in January, so DigiHost is green. It's up 33%. As of Friday, Bitcoin was about 8% off of that August high from 2022. We got a lot closer to that over the weekend. It's now more like 4%. But you'll see the Bitcoin miners, even the next best Bitcoin miners, which would be DMG Blockchain and Bit Digital, which are smaller Bitcoin miners, they're still down 27%, and then there's a big gap down. From there, Riot Blockchain, that's held on better than most of the Bitcoin mining companies, and it's still down 40% off of where it was last August. Riot's basically doubled their exahash. They've significantly increased their production. They have a good hodl position, a strong balance sheet. So there's an example of a company that, in my opinion, has underperformed versus Bitcoin in a big way. Right, Bitcoin's come almost full circle back around to where it was at 25,000 5 months ago, and these miners have not completed that journey at all yet. So I do believe one at a time, the healthy ones still have a potential huge run ahead of them if we can get to this $25,000 price target. Obviously, then we'll have to reassess and see where we go from there, because that is still significantly off of our all-time highs at 69,000. So if we keep going, you'll see that some of the other big miners, Marathon is down 58%. So, based on execution, I think there's a potential massive amount of upside to that stock as well. I am going to do a separate video. They made a big move on Friday. They did an SEC filing. So that's going to be a separate video, so you can look for that probably tomorrow. CleanSpark's still down 57% versus where it was last August. So to me, that is one of the ones that I have a high level of conviction in. So I'm not telling you to buy any of these or sell any of these. Again, this is not financial advice, so you guys need to do your own due diligence, but I'm showing you the thought process that I go through when I look at a CleanSpark, which is one of my high conviction plays. They tripled their exahash in the year 2022, and they're still 57% lower than they were last August, and Bitcoin is almost all the way back to where it was. So to me, I'm seeing a lot of room left for that to run. So to me, this is a compelling chart. Obviously, it's just one data point, so you got to put this into perspective with all of the information. So this chart alone shows you these are very volatile assets. I say that in every video, and I'm not going to stop saying it because this is high volatility. It's much higher than your average stock. It's even higher than your average small cap, high growth stock. So if you are uncomfortable with that level of volatility, these probably aren't the stocks for you. So trade within your comfort zone. All right, this is a chart of each company's market cap as of the close of business on Friday. So you're going to see, I want to point out a few things here. The first thing you're going to see is there are still several of these companies that are nano cap stocks. You've got Stronghold at 19 million, Any at 29 million, Gree at 39 million, DMG Blockchain at 41 million, Mawson's at a market cap of 41 million as well. DigiHost, which is up 486%, is still only a $59 million market cap company. So there are some very small companies trading in this space, and that's why we get this type of volatility. So if we go to the top and you look at the two largest, Riot and Marathon are the two largest by market cap. They are the two largest companies. The first three companies on this list, Riot, Marathon, and HUT, are the only three that really have a significant hodl position of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. I do believe that's one of the big reasons these companies maintain their market market cap better than some of the other companies. Riot and Marathon were the first two listed on the NASDAQ. They've been listed the longest. They have the most institutional adoption, so they are bigger companies. But the one that I really want to point out is Cipher. You'll see in fourth place is Cipher at $364 million, just a little bit smaller than HUT. So Cipher has passed an awful lot of companies on this list over the last year. They are now the fourth largest company by market cap, and in November of 2022, they weren't even in the top 10 Bitcoin miners by production. So they jumped on the list in December, and they jumped all the way to fifth place. So, you know, they've made a very strong move. They're growing fast. So I'm keeping my eye on Cipher. Their stock is also up dramatically as well, so they've had a very nice run. But to me, that's probably the company that's made the biggest move on this whole list. And then as I look down the list, you're going to see a lot of these other companies, Hive, Bitfarms, CleanSpark, those were all billion-dollar plus companies, and they're now trading in the 200 millions or below. So we are by no means at the finish line. This is a comparison of what these companies' market caps have done just in January. In blue is where they are right now on January 27th, 2023. So just 27 days later, you're going to see the dramatic increases in these market caps. So if you look at a few of these, Argo Blockchain was $52 million. They're now $91 million. By the way, they had a nice run up to $52 million. They were even lower than that. Core Scientific's gone from $28 million to $91 million in 1 month. DigiHost, as you saw at the beginning, they've gone from $10 million to $59 million in the month of January. So big run-ups, especially in a lot of these small ones, but even Marathon has more than doubled, and Riot has essentially doubled. And as you go down the line, you're going to see Cipher was $139 million on the first day of the year. 27 days later, they're $364 million market cap company. So things are moving very fast in here. That's why I wanted to show you that last chart with all that red all over it, because still, even with all this massive recovery that we've had in the last 4 weeks, we have still only just begun to even start to get healthy as far as the Bitcoin mining company stocks go. So that's it. That's everything Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining for this weekend. Thanks so much for watching, and remember to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. I will see you in the next video. If you haven't become a member yet, you can also hit the join button and become a member. It's only $5 a month, and I think it's a good value, so check it out. We'd love to have you.